All right. Spawning here in the top left corner of Death Aura Ellie for game number 1. It is Alpha X's ZOUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right, playing as the red Terran player from Team Shopify Rebellion. Give it up for BYUN.
How are our predictions looking for this one?
So far, we have 37% for ZOUN and 63% for BYUN. Of course, that would
wow.
change. I don't blame them because I feel like BYUN is the more accomplished player. He has more experience, I feel like, and he's he's a big fan favorite, of course.
Right.
ZOUN, he's more of a up and coming player, so maybe he doesn't have as much achievements under his belt. But yeah, I still feel like, because BYUN doesn't have the best record against Protoss. It's not his best matchup. I feel like he does better in TVZ. I don't feel like his TVP is the greatest, and that's in large part because I feel like he relies heavily on the BIO, the MMM, unit army composition. And even when he's facing against Colossus, he doesn't get Vikings or anything like that to counter them. He just kind of relies on his micro. And but once the Protoss get like multiple splash damage units, it gets really hard for BYUN to break them and win the game. So yeah, he doesn't have the greatest win rate against Protoss.
Definitely. Alright, so we're going to see a Stargate opener, some macro action out of ZOUN. And then on the other side of the map, we just have some Marines being pumped out. No bunker. I'm not sure if that is part of a metagame. And we also see a Hellion being produced, just scouting.
Alright, looks like Phoenix will be the choice here for ZOUN. They could either go for Oracle opening or Phoenix opening. I've seen both options, but it looks like ZOUN wants to go for that Phoenixes, and that kind of tells me that he wants to. He probably wants to go to, make a couple of Phoenixes, maybe 4 or 5, and then he wants to start transitioning into Colossus tech. That's usually the more common army composition. So I fully expect him to start throwing down that robotics bay pretty soon here.
Yeah, definitely. It's like 1 Phoenix, okay, 2 Phoenix, okay, but once you get up to a higher count, such as 4 or 5, that's when you get a lot more potential in that sort of army.
Yeah. Now, what do you make of this? Like, BYUN has his medevac flying halfway through and then actually backing back out here. Do you think he scouted something or?
I was just about to say, the only reason why you would do that is if you spotted a danger to the medevac, such as Phoenixes. So maybe BYUN did actually catch a glimpse of them.
Well, the Phoenixes are back at home here, so I'm not sure, but the Hellion probably scouted something to kind of hint at him.
Right.
But it's going to be the smart play, because he was not going to get any damage with those Phoenixes flying around.
Right. I like this Phoenix spread as they're flying away from the main. I really like that. We see BYUN playing super safe. We see that Cyclone, that Raven over at home. I do like this playstyle a lot. We see a fairly standard timing on the third Nexus, going down at 5 minutes. It's on the later end, but I'm actually not too sure about this matchup. Looks like these Phoenixes are going to try to get in here, see what they can do, but they're warded off by the Cyclone with the lock-on ability. Oh, that is 1 dead Hellion. It was a depth saw it, and they waved it goodbye.
It's definitely dead indeed, and looks like we have ourselves. We have ZOUN here. Gonna go ahead and try to find some opening here to pick up some SCVs, but really well fortified by BYUN, having the Marines parked here at the natural as well as the main. So ZOUN is going to only be able to pick up some few SCVs here and there, but not get too much done. But it's alright, he still has the Terran contained. You don't see BYUN kind of moving out with those medevacs across the map. You don't see him starting to attack. He needs to build up the enough army to feel confident enough to start establishing his third base and then possibly move out after that.
And it's like you mentioned earlier, Snoopy, the transition for our blue Protoss was indeed Colossi. First one is already out, second one is being produced. Thermal Lance, the range upgrade for the Colossi is about 2/3 done, and he's going to need it as BYUN is actually pushing across with the bio that he has. Now the Phoenixes are going to scout it. Can they delay it? I don't think they really have any staying power to do so, though.
We shall see. Looks like this attack might want to wait a little bit. Oh, actually, since he's going to go ahead here. I was like going to suggest you wait for combat shield and concussive shells to finish, but
right. Yeah, a little bit too early for actually both players, as Thermal Lance just finished. Very smart of BYUN to just say, nope, I'm going to back off, and instead I'm going to go for a triple drop in the main, where there are no units, actually. And this could be a huge opportunity to deny +1, as well as maybe some other key upgrades. The Phoenixes are the first to arrive. Oh no, charge was denied. The Twilight Council goes down. That is a huge pickup for a Red Terran player.
He's trying to focus fire on the Phoenixes to try to evacuate these units here. He's still got another group of units at the top right side, and it looks like ZOUN is going to go ahead and dive in here. These Widowmines going to get in top. Oh!
Excellent disable on the Colossus. It's nothing preventing it from just walking around. As we see, finally, the two other Colossi from the natural base come back in, and BYUN finally backs off. Excellent micro.
Yeah. Now, I would have said it was a pretty even trade because, you know, in the end of the day, ZOUN didn't really lose a lot of workers to attack, but killing off the +1 as well as the charge upgrade, that is significant. And so I would say I would give the advantage, the win there, to BYUN during that engagement in the past minute or so.
I definitely agree with you 100%. That Twilight Council also denies, let's see, it also denies tech from any Templars for the Protoss. And only just now is charge 2/3 done, +1 attack, halfway done, a huge drop in the main. It looks like this is also going to get a lot of damage done. BYUN really just making use of the mobility of his Triple M army.
Alright, he's going to fly out of there, but again, another group of units onto the, the top side. Once more, trying to do these multiple prong attacks. This time around, ZOUN is much more prepared. He had the cannon, he had the shield battery. A lot, didn't lose too much. Maybe lost a few probes here and there, maybe a pylon or so. But better well defended compared to the first round.
I have to say, I really like BYUN's position in this game economically. He's only down 3 workers, actually just even up the worker count as I said that. And I don't know, I just think that BYUN's just a little bit ahead in this game. Though those 4 Colossi now are really a force to be reckoned with, so we will have to see how the micro plays out in later engagements.
Alright, looks like let's see here, +2 attack and +1 armor being researched here for ZOUN. Those upgrades going to be really important. He wants to make sure to stay ahead or at least even in the upgrade compared to the Terran. And oh, look at here, we have ourselves a little bit of a DT shrine.
I love to see it. We also have the double Disruptor play coming out after the 4 Colossi. I just love everything about it, you know. Oh, we see some zealots trying to... Actually, are they going to deny... They get a kill on the armory. It wasn't actually canceled. Immediately, the wall is repaired, quote-unquote, with a second NG bay. Alright, now we're going to have to see how this main Bioforce does. But can it break through to the high ground against all of that Protoss? That is a sizable Protoss army. For Colossi, we've got some Disruptors, we've got Archons, we have Phoenixes to support in the air. Yeah, I'm not too sure. You know, maybe if you get a couple of really good EMPs, we see some SCVs going down, at least from a Zealot run by.
Yeah, I think it was probably smart not to go there. There was so many cannons and shield batteries. Probably not the greatest. Oh, can we get the... Oh, wow.
Oh.
Nice attempt there by ZOUN, trying to go for the back door, but BYUN just too good.
We have ourselves a much cleaner PvT insofar compared to the first series, where everything was just so much crappier. Okay, and now things are in an awkward position as we see the Protoss actually on the outside of their base, although the Bio is pushed back. Really good EMPs going down, forcing back the Archons and the Zealots for now, but it doesn't matter as both players are going to trade out. Oh, and one Colossus just barely lives. Is ZOUN just going to push forward? Okay, it looks like ZOUN is going to back off for now. I do like this quad drop coming into the straight third, though. It's the potential for a little bit more damage. Fifth being taken by our blue Protoss.
Looks like BYUN is going to hold off on that attack just a little bit. I'm sure he wants to dive in there once he scouts the army movement out by ZOUN, excuse me. And yeah, he's just going to sit back here, just macro up. The thing is, we do see DT blink is about to finish. And we know how dangerous a ragtag group of DTs can be. They can snipe off a planetary in the blink of an eye if you have the numbers. So, yeah, BYUN is going to have to be careful. Keep an eye out on that to make sure he does not lose a planetary and lose a lot of SCVs to a group of DTs there. And here we go. DTs on the left side.
Just sort of posturing for a little bit, but like you said, DT Blink is very deadly in the right hands. We do see Liberator range coming up. We do see additional Ghosts coming up for BYUN. This is definitely a power-up sort of gameplay that we're seeing right now. Both players are really just trying to survive until the later game. Can they survive, though? That Colossus went down. Nice Disruptor hits, but that Bio just picks up and gets on out of there. These DTs, like you said earlier, yep, you give them an inch, they will take a mile. They just took down that planetary fortress like it was butter.
Alright, the good thing is that he does clean up the rest of the DTs, so that is not too shabby. Loses a planetary, but I mean, he still has plenty of resources to remake those command centers. And BYUN holding strong, although ZOUN still holding strong on his own as well. Still ahead, 84 workers to 69, so his economy pretty healthy, solidly healthy actually. And once again, BYUN still sticking with the infantry army composition.
A really good move by BYUN. Again, doing some harass with a small group of Marauders and Marines, taking out actually an entire mineral line. Yeah, that's quite a few probes. So that lead that we were just discussing earlier, yeah, it's not so much of a lead anymore.
As we say that another ragtag group of DTs gonna go ahead and be able to snipe out another command center there. And will it escape?
Oh, they gotta get that supply depot. Oh, excellent snipes going down, taking out all but one of the DTs.
Oh,
I love it. We're seeing War Prison speed coming out. We gotta see that micro coming out later. And this Stalker, Colossus, Archon, Disruptor army takes out another base. And it looks like BYUN is just going straight, ignoring that army, going straight for the counterattack. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that DT does have vision of the army move out, so ZOUN is going to go ahead and try to quickly get into position here.
Both players have been sitting at high supply values for the longest time. This is really just such a treat to watch. And now we're going to see the first engagement. Okay, blink forward, catch a few Liberators. Maybe. Okay, we see some air balls just zoning out the bio. Okay, and this is the...
Oh!
Huge Disruptor Novas, huge EMPs as well, but it does not matter. We see BYUN supply dipping. Okay, well now we do see ZOUN also taking quite a beating. Colossus does go down. Yeah, wow. What a trade.
Yeah, that was not the prettiest sight to see for sure.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, ZOUN still has a lot of those Disruptors left over. And I'm a little scared here for BYUN. He's still stuck on 3 bases, by the way. And you see ZOUN got like 6 bases right now. So I mean, it's not looking the greatest for BYUN. Maybe he can pull a magic out of the hat, or a rabbit out of the hat, and turn this game around. But he's still gonna have to contend with all these Disruptors.
EMP goes down on pretty much all of those Stalkers. This is not a choke that you want to push through with Stalker Colo as the Protoss. Libs are sieged up in an excellent position. They also have that range, which means that you are not going to be able to snipe them with just Stalkers from this position. 4th base finally gets up and running, but this Nexus, I'm going to be honest, it seems like a very ambitious Nexus, right? You're so far forward. Wow, and look at that, blink forward. Okay, does get 1 Liberator. Gets a few Marauders with that Nova. Yeah, this is, wow, oh my gosh, just taking damage on all sides, but we see BYUN still just taking a little bit more, you know, staying down on that supply, whereas ZOUN, Alpha X ZOUN, my man, he's staying up in supply. You know, he's just keeping his supply maxed out, and it's just really, I can't believe he held on to that Nexus, honestly.
Yeah, so it was kind of tough for him, tough for BYUN, just because those Disruptors are just so hard to just like dive in there. So you gotta kite,
right.
And then once by the time like another round of Disruptor balls has gone off, the other half is recharged. It's making this really hard here for BYUN.
Yeah, like you said, we're getting into that really high Disruptor count. 7 Disruptors, just like before, so it almost seems as though there are constant Disruptor hits. The Nexus finally does get targeted down, but not without a fight.
Yeah, actually those Liberators doing really well to kind of zone out ZOUN's army here. So he is going to lose that base, but remember, he has so many bases, he could afford to lose that. He's already taking the one at the 1 o'clock. So right now, he doesn't really need to save these bases. I mean, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. He's ahead in the worker. He's still got more bases. He just got to make sure not to take any really bad engagement and just throw away his advantage.
Yeah, definitely. These Liberators, they are really doing the work of zoning out Blue Protoss. Although the Blue Protoss did get a bonus by preventing the 5th from going down for a little bit while longer. But is this it? Okay, we see the Stalkers engaging forward. Ooh, some of the Zealots actually being caught by friendly fire. And like you said earlier, these Liberators are really doing their damage.
Yeah, if BYUN manages to pull this one out, I'm just going to say these Liberators are the MVPs of this game. This is just absolutely incredible because remember, just a few minutes ago, BYUN was so behind. And with these nice zoning and positioning, BYUN has, I would say, possibly taken a slight lead here.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I thought that ZOUN was definitely ahead earlier, but with both players, again, taking massive amounts of economic damage. This huge Bioforce, there's nothing to really deal with it. Same thing on the other side of the map, there's nothing to really deal with this main force of Stalker, Disruptor, Colo, and that one Void Ray. Wow, are we seeing a base trade scenario?
We might see it very much looks like it. And by the way, guys, this is only game number 1 of this series. Yeah. This is absolutely insane here. Let's see. I mean, remember, the Protoss still has the recall ability. That's going to give the advantage in terms of being able to recall his army. And here we go. Going to go ahead and try to engage. Oh my god, look at all those liberators.
Oh no, this is... I can't believe what I'm seeing. There are almost no SCVs left in existence on this battlefield. 2 SCVs left. These liberators, again, doing their work to just keep the Protoss at bay. Thankfully for our red Terran, ZOUN accidentally recalled to his 5th. I believe that's the 5th base, and so it's really caught out on a weird angle.
Now, don't forget though, ZOUN does have the DT Shrine, so if he can kind of kill off all the command centers, the orbitals, that's no scans left. Although, actually, you know what? The Ghost can EMP the DTs, as I say that. But, oh, here we go. BYUN on the retreat here. ZOUN's going to go ahead and chase after it.
We do see some EMPs going down, really stripping that Archon of its shields. Oh, okay, some decent Nova hits. Oh. This is really getting down to the wire. Oh my gosh, look at the supplies. This is insane.
Yeah, but you know what? BYUN taking a lot of Disruptors hit at that last huge fight here. And I think, yeah, ZOUN holds on. There's just too much Disruptors on the ground, and BYUN is going to GG out.
Very, very well played. That was... what a slugfest towards the end. Both players just going all out, dishing out massive amounts of damage.
Yeah, that was an absolutely insane game number 1. Looks like Pillars of Gold will be our second map of choice, or will be the map of choice for the second game here. And you think we're going to actually see another crazy macro game like that again on this map? Or you think it's going to be ending a little bit quicker?
Man. I'm going to be honest with you. If I were either of these astounding players, if I were ZOUN, if I were BYUN, I'd be thinking to myself, look, I do not want to get into that sort of base race scenario again. It makes me uncomfortable. There are so many variables that I don't have control over. Let me try to end the game quickly at least. Let's progress this series, you know what I mean? At least that's what I would think. But again, I'm not either of these excellent high-level professional players. So who knows? Maybe they're going along with what you're saying and trying for a more macro-oriented game, especially being Pillars of Gold, right? You've got these nice, sort of wider open spaces. You also have some wide open dead air spaces where you can really take advantage of things like medevacs, warp prisms, etc.
Yeah, for sure. Now we have to keep in mind that the wrist injury of BYUN might come into play during the series because, again, that first game was so long, it probably required a lot of APM and a lot of wrist movement of BYUN. We'll see how he holds up. Hopefully, you know, he doesn't have any problems with it, but that could definitely be a factor as this series progresses.
Yeah, definitely a good point that you bring up. Shout out to BYUN for powering through this series. Shout out to all professional StarCraft players who have to deal with this. We really feel for you as the fans, as the casters.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get started here with game number 2. Why don't you go ahead and do the honors?
All right, so game number 2, Pillars of Gold, spotting in the bottom left corner. Playing a very nice, very scrappy towards the end sort of macro game. It is Alpha X's ZOUN.
And spawning here at the top right, spawning as the red Terran player, playing for Shopify Rebellion. It is BYUN.
So Snoopy, tell me what you think is going to happen this game. If you were either of these players, what would you try to go for?
You know, if I was ZOUN, I might go for some Blink Stalker play. Just because, you know, if he can get on the edge there, he can kind of blink towards the, I guess, the bottom right side or the bottom right edge of the main base. Maybe snipe some add-ons, maybe some tech labs, stop them from researching. That can be a pretty good play. And then, of course, on BYUN's side, I think maybe... I think maybe he might want to go for some Widow Mine drops, maybe, possibly, maybe... Yeah, Widow Mine drops I think would be a good choice, but I mean, he's got so much builds under his belt that it's hard to predict.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you there. I was just about to say, right, the main is fairly accessible from the triangle location, from the triangle base location. Blinkstalker could definitely see some use here. And I just want to point out earlier, as we were introducing the players, the scouting probe actually did get an SCV kill. I don't know, I just feel like that's something to note since you don't actually see that too often in professional level gameplay.
Well, give that probe a medal right there. I mean, it's like it's like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you just don't see that. Oh, nice little save there.
Yeah, I don't think that SCV even took damage because it popped into the command center so fast. Again, Adept being denied the high ground. Oh, is it actually? Nope, it is not going to complete the shade. It's going to back right on out.
All right, looks like we're seeing a little bit of yeah, looks like a Widow Mine drop. So the idea is he's going to go ahead and probably load up the Marines and the Widow Mine and then try to park the Hellion at the front so that when he does drop, he might possibly be able to run by with the Hellion at the Natural. Yeah, we'll see how ZOUN defends against this. There's so many times where the Protoss defends perfectly, and then of course, you know, there are those times where they just mess up and a Widow Mine gets a huge shot. We shall see in the next couple of seconds how ZOUN responds.
By the way, just want to note that it is 1-0 currently to ZOUN.
Thank you for oops.
And it looks like you were correct about your prediction of Blinkstalker, so that is going to be the opener here. Like you said, bringing in the Marines. No Widow Mine actually with this force. We'll see how ZOUN manages to handle it. There is a shield battery here. There are a couple of Stalkers, a couple of Adepts. Doesn't look like those Marines are going to get much done. They are going to get a free pylon, awkwardly enough.
Hey, you know what? Free pylons? I'll take it.
That's right. Especially in this kind of game, right? You gotta take whatever you can get.
By the way, thank you guys for reminding me or correcting me about the score. The score is now fixed, and ZOUN is up, of course, up 1-0. And here we go, Warp Prism with these Stalkers. We did see this before from ZOUN. Really clean execution. Let's see how many. Oh, nice!
Wow. Sort of like you blink once, you can blink twice with the Warp Prism. See how much damage you can get. Very good control from ZOUN. Really just showing off, picking up that low health Stalker, going into the Natural as well, seeing what additional damage he can get there. Already 5 workers going down. He's going to get a 6th. We do see the Widow Mines across. We do see the Marines across the map getting some of their own damage in as well. Oh my gosh, this has already become quite a game. Not even 6 minutes and about 10 workers going down for both players.
Yeah, by the way, do you know how hard that is? Like, you have to focus on across the map and then as well as back at home. It's like, it's hard to like decide which one do I focus on at this moment. It's like these pro players are just so good.
Yeah. I can tell you with 100% certainty, if I were either of them, I would have lost 20 or so workers. Easy.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
All right, so we got Stim coming up for BYUN. Nothing new. We also see a third Nexus coming up right about now. It is quite late. Looks like those Blink Stalkers really sort of cost ZOUN in the long run. We'll see if it was worth it.
All right, looks like ZOUN will go ahead and start plotting down that third base. I expect that BYUN should be throwing down his third base pretty soon as well.
Combat shield has started up. I think this is going to be a +1 attack combat shield stim timing, if I'm not mistaken. We do see some medevacs, we do see a lot of Marines and Marauders being pumped out. Yep, we also see concussive shell started. And we see another drop being prepped.
Yeah, but you know what? ZOUN doing a really nice job being active with those Blink Stalkers, trying to find any potential drops out there. I feel like he might actually miss this.
Oh, no way. The Blink Stalkers just... Oh! Amazing. If ZOUN had looked just a second later, he would not have actually caught that double drop.
Yeah, or maybe if BYUN moved out just a few seconds later, he might have been able to bypass it as well. So, yeah, both. But you gotta give it to ZOUN. Again, like I said, he's being very active with those Blink Stalkers to make sure he covers a lot of ground and vision to spot any potential drops and try to snipe them before it happens.
Oh, definitely. And this is a really scary push that's coming up out of our red Terran player. We see siege tanks coming for BYUN. We see a Raven, which does actually have a little bit of energy. We see all of the upgrades lining up. And this is where things can get dicey for the Protoss, right? The Protoss is down on supply, I believe even on just barely slightly ahead on workers, which is, not the best. Also not the worst. We do see some High Templar. A drop into the natural, and this is where things become really difficult to deal with. Oh no.
Oh my god, a huge feedback there on the Raven from the High Templar.
That's right.
That takes away 2 interference matrix, which you probably needed for these Colossus. But actually, these tanks, though, still holding strong. And, well, actually, not too shabby start here for BYUN.
That second Colossus just barely was able to pop out of the Robo in time, as it does go down to the siege tanks. Yeah, again, this is super dicey for ZOUN. Those 4 tanks really just shelling away.
Oh man, 2 more tanks and a bunch of reinforcements still coming across the map. So ZOUN might want to start attacking pretty soon, or else it's going to get more difficult to break this.
That's right. Definitely. I mean, 6 tanks, ooh, I don't know about that. We do see a nice little charge lot drop with the 4 Prism. Actually does force the unsiege. Okay, so you can consider that position sort of broken. But, I mean, the tanks are still here. You've still got this big problem to deal with. Can he break out of BYUN's hold?
Oh man, still looking good for BYUN. There's only 1 tank though, so much easier to clean up. But look at these values going ham on the mineral line. 8 probes going down.
8 probes. That means that BYUN, as the Terran, is actually taking a worker lead, which is just critical at this point in the game. We'll have to see how ZOUN tries to come back from this deficit in the game. I'm sure BYUN is very happy with the lead that he's taken.
Yeah, I mean, everything is going his way. I mean, you look at the worker count ahead, look at the army count ahead, you look at the upgrade ahead, staying even on the bases as well. Yeah, I think this is definitely BYUN's game to lose. He is in a fantastic spot.
Yep, definitely. You have to give it to BYUN too for knowing when to stop the attack. So many Terrans, so many players in general would just have continued pushing and trying to sort of break their opponent, even though they might reach a point where the opponent actually has a critical mass plus defender's advantage, and all of a sudden you lose your entire army and the game is even again, all just because you didn't know when to retreat. So kudos to BYUN for knowing when to retreat.
Yeah, that's a really important, kind of, I guess, yeah, it's a really important trick to have, like knowing when to retreat, when to push forward, and then it comes with experience as well. Knowing when to do so, and BYUN definitely has a lot of experience.
Yeah, definitely. I really don't like this Protoss army as it compares to the Terran army. We see Disruptors being produced. I don't see any of them with the main force. Guardian Shield pops, but it's really just 1 Colossus and some Archons, which are, as we all know, very short range. And speaking of range, we have those Liberators sieging up, definitely out of range of those Stalkers for now. Disruptor is setting up just outside of range, trying to see what damage it can do, just barely does not get that siege tank. And the Bio is setting up for another sort of contain at this third base position.
Alright, once again, these Liberators doing a great job zoning the Protoss army out. And ZOUN just trying to buy some time with that shield battery overcharge. Actually doing a nice job cleaning up some of the reinforcements.
Yeah, these ghosts are a bit caught out of position. I'm honestly not sure if it matters though. Look at that Viking count, right? And those libs again providing that sort of anchor that the that the Terran Bio can always fall back to. Not to mention the tanks in the back line.
Yeah, for sure. And look at that, ZOUN gonna go ahead and just sack this base here. He knows he can't defend it.
Right. I love this, the double expand. Why not, right? You're in a holding pattern. You need to throw a Hail Mary at some point, right? And if there's any Hail Mary to be thrown, it's got to be a double expand.
You know, I can't say I'm mad at that decision there. I mean, if you're going to sack a base, you need some way to kind of climb back, so...
That's right.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, it is really just BYUN's game to lose at this point. He is ahead by 50 supply, already maxed out. The blue Protoss army actually going for a very, very interesting move. Just ignoring the Bio Ball at home and just going for the counterattack. So this is going to be a very interesting turn of events. Oh no, the probe's already being slaughtered. Over a dozen. Huge Disruptor hits, actually taking out maybe about a third of that Bio Ball. SCV's being pulled off the line. This main Protoss army, that one Colossus, what a Chad, 11 kills already. Ends up being recalled. Okay, that could have gone a lot worse for... Well, I mean, it did go pretty bad for our Protoss, right? But ZOUN definitely could have taken more damage, as could have BYUN.
Yeah, I mean, he is in a quite dire situation, so he needed to try something, and it was a good attempt, but again, BYUN is just so far ahead, it just doesn't, you know, make up for the difference. And it's like slowly but surely, ZOUN is dropping in supply. BYUN still holding on to his bases, and I feel like it's just a matter of time. Once BYUN feels confident enough to just move across the map, you know, it's hard to say how ZOUN can kind of defend against that.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that really scary 2-2 timing coming up. Although, you know what, Snoopy, I'm a believer that DT Shrine exists, and if a DT Shrine exists, anything can happen. That is one of my life philosophies, if you will.
I can't blame you.
Yep. Okay, and let's see how that Disruptor... Ooh, actually gets a couple of tanks. Very, very nice for that one Disruptor hit. Yeah, ZOUN really trying to make it work. You can see that tiny little single drop going down to the, to the 5th location, 4th base out of ZOUN. Yeah, ZOUN is, you know, putting up a good fight. But, like you said, it's really, by all standards, by all metrics in StarCraft in this game, ZOUN is definitely behind, and it really should only be a matter of time, unless something drastic happens.
Oh, that's a nice little cleanup there. ZOUN won't have to be so annoyed worrying about that. But BYUN looking to charge in here. Got a group of units here onto the right side, and oh,
this second drop is just barely pulls back. Excellent micro, just paying attention to everything. And that was so funny. I think BYUN for a second was thinking, hey, where's your base? And then, you know, joke was on him, there was no base there. Gets directly up into the natural, as does the main Protoss army, getting into the triangle third. Disruptor got going out, killing a tank, and all of a sudden the supply lead from BYUN is not really as... Okay, well now with the macro cycle, it comes back up to 40. A DT, a Hail Mary in the main. 25-ish workers going down for both sides. This is definitely a base race scenario.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta give it up to ZOUN. He is doing a nice job making a game out of this.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'm quite blown away. Look at that. The worker count's being evened up against all odds. Still, there is nothing to deal with either of these armies. Okay, the Protoss finally recalls, you know, down to an awkward spot, but there's nothing to deal with this huge Protoss force with those high energy ghosts mixed in the Protoss main. This is just such a pain to deal with.
And now all the production of the Protoss has gone down. It is, yeah, it's looking quite dreary for ZOUN here. He's going to have to restart all the production, make all the gateways, the cybernetic core, the robotics bay, and he is going to be stuck on this army for quite some time. And ZOUN also got to make some of those pylons to get on supply block. Meanwhile, BYUN still mining off his 3 bases. And
huge EMPs, but if the ghosts don't have DPS behind them to support, not that they don't have good DPS by themselves, but just that, you know, if you're going up against a full army with just 4 spellcasters, you should not expect to be able to kill them. Did get off some really nice EMPs, and now there's this awkward sort of engagement where only the Colossi have the range to hit the bio on the high ground. And funnily enough, okay, I don't think ZOUN does have 2 gateways, and that's it. A Templar Archives that is very, very vulnerable, but like you said earlier, all of the tech has been taken out. This is such a weird, just weird game to watch, and I love it. This is quite a treat.
yeah, I mean, ZOUN is up 1-0, and BYUN is in prime position here to tie up the series. Of course, he needs to deliver the final blow here, and oh, can he snipe off these? Oh my God, so good.
Oh man, ZOUN having enough trouble just dealing with this one army that seems to have been here forever, while at the same time reinforcements have arrived up in the northern corner of the Protoss side of the map. And you know, even with the shield battery popping its overcharge, GG is called. BYUN just overtakes ZOUN finally after engagement after engagement.
Yeah, so well done there by BYUN. Dragged out a little bit longer than you would have liked, but in the end, he does claim victory, and he does tie up the series 1-1. So nice of him, and yeah, it's still a close series. So basically, it comes down to a best of 3 right now, as the person that wins the next 2 games or reaches 3 games, 3 wins, will be able to claim themselves as the champion.
Yep, that's right. I definitely agree with you. I think that BYUN maybe took a little bit longer than was quote unquote necessary, if you will, right, to close out that game. But on the other hand, you could say that ZOUN really put up a good fight, you know, just pulling out all of the tricks, seeing what damage could be done. Although the DTs had to be warped in defensively, all of the warp-ins were used for just straight fighting units, and I believe the only DT that I noticed at least was one defensive. So we didn't really get to see much action on the Terran side of the map.
Yeah. By the way, someone asked in the Twitch chat if this is a best of 7. Nope, this is actually a best of 5 finals. All games today were best of 5. So basically, it's come down to a best of 3, as one of these players needs to win 2 games here to win this series. So anyhow, we are here on game 3 on Oxide LE. TeaDragon, take it away.
All right. Game 3. We are tied 1-1, so this is definitely a very exciting series insofar. In the bottom left-hand corner, playing for the team Alpha X, it's ZOUN.
And spawning here at the top right, playing for the Shopify Rebellion team. Hailing from Korea, he's the Red Terran player. It is BYUN.
I do have to say, there was not really a chance to see some of BYUN's higher level biomicro, if you will. So what I mean by that is we did see a lot of pullbacks from the Disruptor shots, but I honestly can't remember a single split from last game. And I think we could be seeing some of BYUN's wrist injuries starting to flare up in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like it's easier to just pull your entire army back instead of splitting.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And also, usually when the engagement happened, I feel like ZOUN had like 4 or more disruptors in hand. So I think if it was like maybe 1 or 2 disruptors, he would split a bit more. But with 4 or more or 5, disruptors there, much easier to just kite back.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Especially given ZOUN's history, even just within this series or within the past couple of series, his history of going high disruptor counts, right? You never know how many more Novas are going to be behind the first one.
Yeah.
It looks like a very standard opening for both players. We see naturals going down. We are not seeing the triple racks build that we have seen in previous games.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is not the closest map, I would say, and also the pathway makes it hard to kind of just go across the map. Now, we did see that that one game though where BYUN did it against DRG, or not DRG, ZOUN did it against Dream, where, oh no, actually Dream did it to ZOUN, excuse me, where he just sent the 2 Marauders across the map on this map. But I still feel like this is quite a long map to just send your units across. But anyhow, let's get back into this game, as since a Death End Probe will be able to not get anything done. These Marines are just like made out of hard armor here. PUE2 in the Twitch chat saying BYUN says he doesn't have any wrist pain playing at home, but it's something about he does have it in the GSL studio.
Oh, interesting. Really? Really?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but if that is true, then man, that GSL studio has something jinxed in it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was gonna say, wrist pain is definitely not. It's definitely physical. There's definitely a physical aspect to it, right? It can't be behavioral or anything like that, especially with a game as rigorous as this. So we see a blink opening for ZOUN once again. We see that safe Raven opening out of BYUN as well. Second barracks going down. I think we're gonna see a tank soon. Yep, there we go. It always feels nice as a caster when you say something and then you're immediately validated. It's like, yeah, I know what I'm saying.
Well, don't get too confident. There's always that caster's curse, It's like,
oh, definitely. Yep. The one that we all know and love.
It's my philosophy is like you can't be a real caster unless you get caster curse at least once.
I like that. Yep. So it looks like maybe I have yet to pop my cherry, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see a small drop. Oh, it does actually get the probe, which is kind of funny because it will sort of delay that third just a little bit.
Yeah, and as much as you can delay it, that's always a good thing. And
yeah,
we do see ZOUN once again going for that classic oh, no, actually he does not. He just want to catch the retreating medevac, and he does snipe it, and well done there.
Very nice. That's a little early game lead.
Now he's going to go back to his classic 4 Stalker Harass here with the War Prism, which has actually worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, excellent game sense. Oh, but don't lose the War Prism. Oh, just barely gets on out of there after maybe a split second of not paying attention. But I was just about to say, you've got that one tank sieged up in the back next to the factory. And if you were to try a similar maneuver as in previous games where you just sort of do a wide arc and eventually blink into the natural and then blink out of there with the War Prism, or not blink out of there, but transport out of there with the War Prism. I wasn't so sure if that was possible with the radius of that siege tank being set up in that location. So excellent game sense. It looks like there is going to be a move out. These Blink Stalkers are going to try to delay, which is really what they're for in this scenario. Yeah, there you go. Force the siege up. Very nice. Okay, so we're seeing Storm coming out. This is a bit of a break from previous games. Instead of Colossus tech, we're going to see that High Templar tech.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. Just changing it up, keeping your opponent on their toes and keeping them guessing.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing is about High Templar, the further along you get into the game, if everything about BYUN's playstyle remains the same, then High Templar become doubly risky because not only are they going to get shield stripped from EMPs, but also energy stripped. And energy is really the key because Colossi, they have a firing animation. High Templar, we don't talk about that firing animation, okay? We really only consider their spell as proper, what's it called? Splash, excuse me. And so that is not going to come into play right now as we don't see any ghosts on the field just yet. So we're going to focus on this full energy Raven, 3 tanks, and whole mess of bio.
Well,
Charge
before
just finishes.
Oh yeah. Before you were talking about the splitting, well, it's going to be time for BYUN to start splitting against these Storm here. Shield battery overcharge will go ahead and looks like it's going to run out really soon. So yeah, it looks like ZOUN will have to start engaging it. In the next
excellent feedback on the Raven, preventing any more Dorito dust or disables coming down on top of it. You do see that flank with the Zealots in the back, cleaning up a tank. Tank in the front gets killed. This is an interesting trade. That's really all I can say. I can't really tell who's coming out on top. You see that War Prism micro saving the Immortal time and time again. Did lose a War Prism. Another feedback going down on the medevac. And really, actually, that is pretty good because... Or not actually, but just it is good because you do see the stimming really just preventing the bio from reaching full health again. And yeah, that was a very solid hold, I have to say. The Nexus did take a bit of hull damage, but overall, very solid.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Did look quite scary at a point there, but he did, with the War Prism, get a nice little flank with the charge lot drop, and was able to clean and get a nice concave, by the way, to mitigate some of the splash damage of those tanks. So he does hold. He does keep his third base. Starting to plot down his fourth base as well after that hold. And sometimes, you know, players ask, when is this the best time to expand and stuff? Like, how do you know when to expand? And the thing is, sometimes it's a gut feeling, and then sometimes it is once you know, convincingly win the battle, that's also a good time to expand, as your opponent probably won't have a lot of army to be going across the map to attack. So, oh. We got a little bit of a chase down here.
Oh, and the Marines come back. Oh, that War Prism getting so low. Oh, wow. And the High Templar are actually saved by dropping out. Excellent micro from both players. Look at that High Templar. That has 3 health. Oh, insane. I was just about to say, I really like BYUN actually just going back in there with the bio, just trying to see what was up, because it sets him up for the next push, and it says, hey, are you sure you want to expand? Even if BYUN does not actually know that the fourth is taken. You know, that must have been running in ZOUN's mind, like, hey, maybe I should cancel this. Maybe I really should not have taken this. Now we see Ghost on the field. EMP, I believe it's Enhanced Shockwave. There we go. Huge EMP going off, setting up for this next push in this choke.
Oh, nice split there by BYUN. Oh, nice target firing on the Disruptor too. There are still a lot of storms there on the backside. But BYUN doing a nice job kiting as well.
Both of these players getting down to the wire, seriously, with all of their units. You can see how low health all of these units are. The bio being not over-stimmed, but just constantly stimmed. You see the Zealots just re-engaging constantly. This is really just high-level micro that we're seeing.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of back and forth, nice high-level micro from both players. Now it also comes down to strategy. We do see some strategic charged Zealot run-bys here onto the right side and left side as well. But we also see BYUN going for that. Once again, harassing like the true Terran that he is.
Alright, so that double drop was caught out. There are some stalkers in the main, just sort of preventing it, zoning it out from the main. We see Thermal Lance coming out, as well as a Colossus. +2 attack for the Protoss. A bunch of ghosts. +2 attack just started for the Terran. Both players are in another sort of powering up phase, just going into deeper into the mid game / late game.
Indeed. And we'll see another move out here for BYUN. Now keep in mind, a lot of ZOUN's armies actually onto the main base trying to prepare for that medevac drop there.
Huge EMPs going off on basically blanketing the entire army. You see that Archon up front having no... Oh, and the Disruptors actually, second one whipped. Second one got a huge shot off. First one sort of whipped, but the Terran is forced to go home. Jeez. That sort of seems to be a running theme today, right? Like, we see these huge EMPs blanketing the entire Protoss army, and then we see huge Disruptor hits taking out a third of the Terran army.
Yeah, it's like almost like the battle of the Ghost versus Disruptor. It's like, who can get the better shots in?
That's right. And BYUN, I don't know if this is an accurate way to say it, but being a Zerg, I almost feel like BYUN is kind of playing this as though the Protoss is a Zerg. He's constantly going in. He doesn't really care about these timings, even though 2-2 is 2/3 of the way done. He's just constantly applying pressure, and I think that he thinks that constant pressure is the path to victory in this game. And I have to say, he might be right. It hasn't gone the best of ways in so far, but if he keeps this up, there is potential that the Protoss just breaks after a while.
Alright, so so far ZOUN stabilizing a little bit, making sure he's got all his cannons and shield batteries up and running, as well as having a nice spread of the army. Not all his army is then placed in one spot, which is pretty nice to defend all those. Oh, look at that storm! The side High Templar onto the right side. That was absolutely sick.
Excellent flank. We're gonna see a couple of whiffs here. One Nova does actually get a Widowmine. We have seen that sort of trade before. Something else that we've seen before, just in case you forgot, Snoopy, is the Dark Templar Shrine. Just want to put that out there again.
Alright, we had the return of the DTs here.
That's right. Look at that low health Nexus. Oh, one of the medevacs does not actually get out.
Yeah, BYUN just kind of losing a little bit of army here and there. Gotta be careful a little bit with his army. The army supply is actually pretty even right now, but I would say that ZOUN is building up to a better army composition with the 3 splash damage options there. BYUN trying to... Oh, actually does catch one of the Disruptors. Nicely done.
It doesn't matter. There's 4 others.
That's true. That is true.
But yeah, definitely, I totally agree with you. Like you were saying, the Protoss maybe is just sort of powering up to a point that Triple M cannot deal with. Obviously, the Ghost definitely helps, right? But you've got, you have 2 Colossi, you have 6 Disruptors. Eventually, you're going to need something like Liberators. You're going to need something more than just Triple M. Another whiff. Alright, I do like this angling. Again, taking advantage of the speed that Triple M can move. Poking in for a second, taking out a few of the static defense structures. But yeah, both players are now fully maxed out. Basically maxed out, and yeah, this is really the beginning of the late game.
Yeah, I would love to see BYUN start adding some Liberators. I mean, the past few games, I feel like Liberators has worked out nicely for him, and I would love to see him.
Oh no! The one thing you want to do if you're caught in a storm is to not stay in it, and it looks like all of those Marauders are just barely going to live to tell the tale. You know, they're going to go back to the barracks and be like, hey, check out what I did today. I stood in a storm. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Do not stay under storm. Whether it's a high temperature storm or maybe it's a hailstorm or a rainstorm, just don't stand under it.
Yeah, definitely. I think BYUN might have heard your advice about getting those Liberators. 4 are being produced at a time, plus 2 air attack is about to finish, and this Protoss is actually initiating an attack on the side of the Terran, getting a cancel on that base as the main Bioforce is just sort of caught out on the map. These Disruptors are going to chase, sort of zone it out. Pretty good move.
Oh, no!
No! That was what, like 35 supply.
He took his eye out just for 1 second to concentrate on the macro, and oh my goodness.
Dude. Stop, please. It's too painful. I can't watch this anymore.
Oh
no.
my goodness.
Oh, just for a split second, you don't see it. Oh my god. No comment is right. We don't talk about that. Let me out. Oh, are we gonna see another one? Okay. Oh, very decent.
Oh my god! Just throw those balls out.
Yeah.
I know it sounds dirty, guys. Let's just keep it PG-13 or PG here.
Hey, let's get some more Fs in the chat. Am I right? Ooh. Okay, those Liberators finally are gonna force them out of the natural. But like, what are you gonna do, right? This third is gone. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I think BYUN has his answer for that, as he's gonna run across the map with all this bio. Static defense is not gonna be enough to handle all of these commanders. Another base 20. No, please. 40. Fuck no. Snoopy, why? Okay. Oh man, my heart.
Oh my goodness.
Boy. I think we should just, out of pity, we should just ignore what happened in this game and say that it was a DC. Oh.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Jeez. What was that? Like 60 SCVs went down in 5 seconds. I am just so sad.
Yeah, and ZOUN, he picks up game number 3 and goes up 2-1. So that means, by the way, taking a look at the final prediction percentage here, looks like BYUN got 59%, ZOUN got 41%. So looks like the majority of you went for BYUN, although it was a lot closer than I actually expected here. So yeah, still a close series. Of course, this is a best of 5, so if BYUN wins this next game, he wins and becomes champion. But if ZOUN can win this, tie up the series, force it to a game 5 here, that would be pretty dope.
Oh, definitely. We have seen, even just today, we've seen many series or we've seen many games where, one player's at match point and the other player still manages to power through and take the win.
All right, light shade for game number 4. Let's go ahead and get this started.
Yep, so spawning here in the top left corner of the map for game 4, up 2-1 and potentially taking the series right here, right now. It is Alpha X's ZOUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right is the red Terran player playing for Shopify Rebellion. Give it up for BYUN.
We have yet to see any extremely cheesy game.
That is true.
I'm kind of excited. I want to see what's going on, but who knows? Maybe they're saving their builds for other tournaments, or maybe they just don't feel like playing such aggressive and coin flippy games.
Yeah, I guess maybe because it's a best of 5, they want to limit the amount of cheeses. If they were to cheese, I would say that they probably do it in the early stages of the series, because as the series goes on and each win becomes more and more important, you don't want to kind of risk it all on the YOLO build.
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, so I have a feeling both of these players are gonna go ahead and not do anything too crazy to start off the game.
That probe not able to find as much damage as it did in the first game. Going home with a bit of a few bruises here and there, but still lives. Oh, interesting. So we see a tech lab out of BYUN's first barracks. Is this going to be... This could be Concussive Shell's Marauders, right?
Oh, it has to be. I mean, 2 racks, Lightshade being such a short map, I have no doubt BYUN is going for a two base, or not two base. Oh yeah, 2 base timing push with concussive shells on the way. So BYUN is going to go ahead and put on some pressure, or looking to put on some pressure here in this early game.
Yeah, definitely. And if I were a betting man, I would say that this proxy pylon out of ZOUN is for a Stargate. Oh, it's okay. I said gate. I got half of it correct.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Is this going to be the same... What was it? It was a 3-gate adept pressure build?
Yep. However, that is not going to fare well against Marauders, because we did see that last time around. Adepts do tickle Marauders. Now, you have enough of them in numbers, you can tickle them to death, but Marauders are a good number, or a good counter to these Adepts, so yeah, it looks like we're going to have ourselves a little bit of an interesting start here.
Yeah, definitely. Twilight Council going down. We do see a couple of shield batteries. I do like that.
Oh, wait. I think this might be... Okay, never mind. He actually warping Stalkers. I was about to say, is he going for the Glaive Adepts, but doesn't seem so. It looks like he's with the Stalker warpings. That's definitely out of the possibilities.
So BYUN immediately backed off with the 2 Marauders upon seeing the shield battery, the Stalker, and the Adept. Reaper is going to get, I believe, a full scout. Blink starts up for ZOUN. Oh, I think... Oh. You know, if I were that Reaper, I would feel so badass wearing a jetpack and carrying a couple of heavy pistols, kind of get some work done, right? And then I see that shield battery, and I'm just like, dude, let me do my job. We do see these Stalkers actually getting a little bit of damage. One of them getting super low on health. Excellent micro from ZOUN, killing off 4 SCVs. And you know what? Let me tell you something. If SCVs had 40 health instead of 45 health, that would have been more like 6 workers killed. Okay, I'm just saying. No, of course, I'm just kidding. It is a funny point of contention that I've noticed, at least in our North American communities. Like, hey, SCV should not have 45 health or whatever. Third base starting for our blue Protoss. Yeah, I do like the position that ZOUN is in. I think that worker count could be a little bit better. We'll have to see how this single drop moving up to the north does.
Well, it's going to be a scary time right now, as you know, because a lot of these units are in that medevac drop. Not going to have as much here on the natural, but at least he does have the siege tank to scare these Blink Stalkers away, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. These Stalkers, they're not really going to get much done other than scouting, poking in and out. Oh, and... Okay, they're going to get recalled. Yep, right as that drop gets in, claims 3. How many more probes are they going to get? Wow. Only 3. That being said, the worker counts are evening up as charge begins. +1 attack begins for our Protoss. Same for our Terran. Combat shield's about to finish.
All right, so the question is, what is the transition here for BYUN? Does he go for a third base? Looks like he should be throwing it down, as I don't see a fifth or fourth racks, so it doesn't look like BYUN is going to go committed here. On the other side, though, ZOUN just macking away, getting his tech, getting those Colossus, getting those additional gateways to make sure that any potential push that BYUN does, that he has enough warpins and units to stop it.
Yep. All right, so again, same as last game, we see that 3 tank move out. Oh, is it? Okay. It's always like, oh, is it gonna? No, is it? Yeah, but it does not actually see that proxy gate. Now these stalkers are gonna see that one marine, and I think they're gonna smell something
Oh no,
fishy about this.
Don't think he actually saw it. I think
Yeah,
BYUN
this
just got
is-
away with just circumventing his whole arm. Oh man, this Colossus is so vulnerable. Oh, luckily there's a shield battery though. That's definitely gonna help.
Right. Charge finished. Okay. If the zealots can get on top of the tank somehow, then it might be able to be held. Pylon goes down. That is very unfortunate, as the shield battery also goes down. Robo gets destroyed. Yeah, this is very reminiscent of games past. Oh, I love this drop with the 2 Widow Mines as well. Wow, 6 probes.
Alright, looks like BYUN is gonna be a little bit extra safe. Gonna go ahead and retreat back home. He did the damage he needed to do. He killed off and sniped out the robotics bay. Or not the robotics bay, the robotics facility. So that does delay some of the Colossus and Disruptor production. And also he did get a little bit of economic delay here at the third base. So just gonna go ahead and retreat back home and macro back himself.
That's right. It looks like both players now have fully saturated, mostly fully saturated mineral lines at their thirds. ZOUN taking his 5th and 6th gases. I find the Widow Mines interesting. I don't think that's... Oh, okay, so now we're going to get the Protoss sort of splitting up, with the Zealots going up to the north for a run by, and the Colossi and the Stalkers coming down south to engage the main army. As the tanks siege up, I don't think there's really much you can do as the Protoss. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I love this group of charged lot ready to attack once he sees and confirms the move out of BYUN. This is going to do a lot of damage because I don't see... Oh, actually, never mind. He does smartly places a couple of units out. He might have actually caught an eye out with that, with the supply depot at the front there.
Oh, and these Zealots are engaging at the same time as the... Oh, no, the Terran is sort of making a decision whether to go back or not. SCVs are pulled in time. Bio comes out, reinforcing Bio comes out to handle the Zealots. But now look at this position. This, oh my god, 2 tanks immediately go down. That's actually huge for ZOUN, as all that's left to really keep the Protoss back while the Bio is behind the tanks are the Widow Mines, which are going to get triggered by the charge lots and destroyed. This observer in a prime real estate location. Wow. As we see another double-pronged attack, canceling the 4th. Very nice by BYUN, but the main Stalker army is actually going to force the liftoff on this southern army.
Wait, is there actually a retreat path for these medevacs? I feel like the Stalkers can get on top of them, but... Oh, actually,
Yeah.
he doesn't have quite the vision for it. I mean, if he had the vision, like, he could just park his Stalkers there. Unfortunately, Terran players don't have a recall like Protoss do, so they can't just recall their medevacs, but...
Right.
Looks like he is going to get away
was...
with it, too. Oh, man, that 4th base is probably going to die very soon. Oh,
yeah, I was just about to say the same thing, right? Like, these Stalkers just getting out of position, and now the Bio is, you know, in between your army and your base, and another cancel on the 4th, yeah. Wow.
Well, you know,
BYUN
sometimes
really
it's,
showing off this double prong.
yeah, and oh my god, the ZOUN trying to set up a
No.
flank, a sandwich of some sort, but that leaves his natural completely wide open. And all the Robo,
Oh.
all the Templar Archive goes down. BYUN getting some nice damage here.
Oh, no way. And the Bio just walks up the main ramp, picks on up, and gets out of there.
Oh my
these
god.
Disruptors! No way! Left out in the open.
BYUN is just completely pulling ZOUN apart here. He does not want to lose this series. He's down 0, or he's down 1 game. He's looking to send this to a 5th and decisive game. Can he close it out though? There's still a lot of Archons and Blink Stalkers here to defend, but I gotta say that was some nice maneuvering and play from our Red Terran here.
Oh, definitely. If I were BYUN, I'd be so happy right now. You know, those were definitely trades I would take any day of the week, and really just now we see that the Protoss is down on workers, severely down on supply. Now that I look at that, no Robos, 2 Robos being rebuilt, High Templar Archive not even being finished, and already ghosts are out. Bio is back. GG is called. Oh my gosh.
We have ourselves a game number 5. The first series was the game went to 5th game. The second series didn't quite go to the 5th game, but it was close. It was like 3-1. And here we're treated with another 5th game. How are we so blessed?
Yeah, right. No 3-0s today, right?
Yep, no 3-0s today.
Very nice. Very well played by BYUN. Yeah, that double pronged, not double pronged, but really just being able to effectively split up your army into 2 separate units and move them and coordinate them so well, such that the Protoss really just does not have a chance to react to either of them in time.
Yeah, the distance between the main base and the third base is so huge that it kind of relies on the Protoss to split his army correctly to defend both areas. And also by BYUN going for all those multiple prong attacks, it kind of decreases the amount of effectiveness of those disruptors, because you face up against a straight up, Protoss ball with your your huge ball of bow units. It gets hard to micro, but if you can split them up, those some of those wandering disruptors, you can kind of pick off here and there if the Protoss is not paying attention. So it's pretty effective. Like if you guys, if you Terran players are having difficulty playing against disruptor balls, that's one possible options to kind of break down the Protoss by just attacking multiple areas.
Yep, definitely.
All right, let's get this started here. Romanticide LE, our last game of today to decide who is going to go home with the bulk of the prize pool and who will be our champion of the Into the Alpha X Super Series 46. TeaDragon, let's do this final introduction.
Yes, sir. Like you said, game number 5 of the last series of the Grand Finals here today. In the top left, not top right, top left corner of the map. Playing for Alpha X, it is the Blue Protoss, ZOUN.
And here, spawning at the bottom right, we got ourselves the Red Terran player playing for Shopify Rebellion. Put your hands together for BYUN.
That probe just barely was not able to prevent the natural from going down. The natural CC, I love that. Already so early into the game and sort of these metagames going on.
Yeah, this early game, really not a lot happening, so you want to try to be as annoying and pester your opponent and annoy them from the start. Sometimes when you can, get your opponent annoyed from the beginning, they tend to make some mistakes here and there as the game goes on. So might as well make use of the APM at at this stage where nothing really happening at this point.
Yep, definitely. So we see the first adept shading across the map. Going to not. I don't think it's going to get a cancel on the natural. That would have required the probe to delay the natural, but it can definitely contest the low ground, I believe. Okay, so now we see 2 Hellions coming out, as well as the Twilight.
You know, I think that adept could have actually finished shading. There was only 1 Marine there, so not a lot to defend, but BYUN is going to get away with it. Alright, looks like we have ourselves a robotics facility opening here, behind Twilight Council, of course. So it kind of signals to me that he might be going back to that Blink Stalker opening once more.
I really like ZOUN's walls. He's already prepped for those Hellions, putting that shield battery right up front. He's always very, well, of course he's very consistent. He plays at such a high level.
Absolutely. And you know what? Not only do I love ZOUN walls, but I also love ZOUN's balls. Now that might sound gay. That might sound gay. Okay, I know. But I'm talking about his Disruptor balls. Okay, don't get the wrong idea, guys.
Nah, dude. There's nothing wrong with liking his balls one way or another. Oh, very nice pull on the probes. See, it always scares me whenever.
Oh no!
That come back. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
That was close. That was definitely close call there.
It got a little hot up in here for a second. Whew. I don't know what I would have done. Sheesh. I was just about to say, you know, when you pull the probes away, you know how, or when you pull any sort of worker away, they always line up, right? Depending, or if you pull them away to another mineral line, and it's like if you don't do it early enough, Hellions will roast the crap out of all of them.
Yeah, and that would have been a horrible way to lose this fifth game by just losing a bunch of probes to those Hellions.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so we see the first 4 Stalkers being loaded up into ZOUN's Warp Prism. We'll see if he can make magic happen like he has in the past. These Hellions just sort of sharking around the outside at the 3rd location of ZOUN's side of the map. The Stalkers getting in here, getting a couple of kills. There we go, 4 kills. Tanks are a bit out of position. Marines come in. A few of them get picked off. Hellions are still idling at the 3rd location, not really being able to, you know, damage anything because there's nothing to hit. Yeah, I like that. You know, 4 SCVs for free. As well as, I believe, a Marine or 2.
Yeah, not a bad trade. We do see here a sneaky little Raven at the left side. This is kind of old school. Unfortunately for him, there is actually, oh boy. Oh, wow. That
was 1 shot away. How? I don't understand. Oh man.
That is
Chad Raven.
Yeah, that is 1 lucky Raven there.
That's right. I don't think the turret got more than 1 kill, did it? Or I don't know if it even got 1 kill. I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, these Stalkers come back in here. Warp Prism is just gonna idle on the high ground for a little bit. Hopefully, I don't think it's gonna spec. 3rd commencement. These Hellions actually, you know, okay, getting 3 kills, right? They've sort of, in a way, they've sort of passed their life expectancy. At this point in the game, they're not really expected to do much, as BYUN has already transitioned back into what he knows and loves with 3-tank push. +1 timing coming up at the northern location of the map.
Alright, we have a little bit of a attack here onto the right side. Is there enough here on the ground for ZOUN to clean this up? And this Nexus is going down pretty fast with those 3 tanks in the back with such incredible firepower. And wow, that Nexus went down very, very quickly. It's going to set ZOUN a little bit back here.
This was a little bit interesting to see because the shield battery overcharge was popped, but it was not targeting the Nexus at all. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. The first Colossus is out, but it is undeniable that ZOUN has already taken critical amounts of damage.
Yeah, to be honest, if BYUN just retreated back home, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, he has stinted some of the economy of ZOUN, and here we go.
Oh,
ZOUN is going to get on top of it, and what a beautiful engagement here.
How did that happen? Oh my gosh, look at the Warp Prism Micro. Picks up the... Oh no!
Oh no!
The Colossus goes down! The Warp Prism goes down! No! ZOUN, not like this! Oh my gosh, he's down like 40 supply. This is... Oh no. He's desperate for any sort of win, trying to pick off that medevac at the cost of... Is it going to be all of these stocks? Well, most of the stocks at least. That was... Oh no, that was... If the Nexus being killed did not end ZOUN's game, the Colossus Warp Prism loss definitely did.
Yeah, I mean, he did clean up the rest of the army, but at what cost? There is still another army group here charging forward. And what does ZOUN has to stop this? Just not a lot here on the ground.
This is basically BYUN showing up with the exact same army as before. ZOUN showing up with half of a Nexus and a worse army. And GG is called. BYUN takes the grand finals tonight.